Perek Chai.
After the Nikuda time, where are we?
Yeah, no, Afilu Gadya. No, cotton. Called cotton maktin. That's where we left off. It's about like 15 lines from the bottom.
Say what it is.
I will.
Got it, yeah.
Okay, tonight, we left off last night, we didn't finish Mem Daled Amud Beis, so we'll finish Mem Daled Amud Beis and do today's blot, February 17th, 2020, which is Mem Hey, we will do Mem Hey as well, but first we have to finish what we didn't finish Mem Daled Amud Beis. So it said that if you eat, kol cotton maktin, if you eat something small, it'll make you small. Amr Chizda, afilu gadya barzuza, even a goat, even if it's very inexpensive, since it's a small animal, will make you small. It's got to be less than 1/4 of its growth, of its normal size when it's an adult. Aval ispe river less lumpa. But if it's greater than 1/4 of its adult size, then it doesn't have this thing that's going to make you small. This is called nefesh meshiv nefesh. It says that something that you eat that's live will sometimes revive your soul. Amrav papa filu gildani de begili, like sardines, small fish. Anything close to life will also sometimes revive life. Amr Bar Yaakov, unka. Unka is meat. Amr Rabbi Lishmaya, kimaisili unsa de bisr, when you bring me meat, torach, sort of go out of your way. The isili, bring me mehecha from where? The makarv lebe baruch, where the bracha is made. Where is the bracha made? The neck. Right? Where the shechita, right? A bracha is made on the animal when you shecht it, by the neck. So the chelzel, the neck, was, people wanted to eat that because they thought it was healthy. Kruv, lemazon, is a cabbage can fill you up. We trade in the refuah. Leeks or watercress was for refuah. Kruv, lemazon, in or refuah. Also, you tell me cabbage is not good for refuah. Vatanya, shisha dvarim, merapin esachoy lemecholyav. 6 things will help a sick person heal. U'refuas and refuah, and their medicinal qualities are real. Veiluhen, kruv, cabbage, tradin, leeks or watercress, mesisin.
What's the penny royal?
Penny royal is a flower.
Oh,
Is a certain type of flower.
that's what.
Rav Shil says tavshil shel puli oil, some kind of flour. Dvash is just an olive. By the way, under Laze Rashi, Puliol Perush Sisin, Yoyazer, doesn't really help us.
It says the maw and the womb and diaphragm.
The aleph is dvash, honey. The keva. Keva is like the part of the stomach. The horas, the uterus. The yoser sakoved.
The womb.
No, the horas is the womb. The yoser sakoved is the extra liver. Like there's an extra lobe of the liver. So this Brisa says that Kruv has refuah powers. Because you said mazon yes, but refuah no. So what is it? Elaima Kruv aflamos. It means Kruv is a double whammy. It mazons you, that means it nourishes you, and it has refuah power. That's why Eastern European Jews learned how to make stuffed cabbage. And also because it was very prevalent in Eastern Europe. Chalupshas. Oy loy labayis. Then the Mishnah said, woe is to the home shalefes oiveres pesach, that turnips are eaten there. Aini, it's not so. Turnips are good. Ramalei ravel l'shmaiki chazit lifta b'shuka. When you see turnips in the market, lo temeli b'mai karachta rivta. Don't tell me that you weren't able to acquire it, I think. See? So you see that it's a bracha to bring turnips. By the way, we always talk about things that are lelafes ba esapas. And we use this language of lefes, which is turnips, but it's like any vegetable that people eat their bread with, like cooked in a stew. So it sounds like lefes is a good thing. Amra baya, mibli basar, means when it's without meat, it's not good. The Rav Amr mibli yain, when it's cooked without wine. means it's good to cook the turnips with wine. Itmar Rav Amar B'ui Basar. It's not good if it's without meat. Shmuel Amar B'ui Eitzim, meaning raw. Eitzim means you need wood to cook it. But cooking it is good. Rabbi Yechon Amar B'ui Yayin. It's bad when it's without wine. Amar Le Rav Rav Papa. Sudni, Rashi says, beer made out of dates.
Be a brewer.
Yeah, beer made out of dates. Oh, Amalei Rav Papa Sudni. Sudni is the title of what Rav Papa's profession was. Rashi says Rav Papa was Moicher Shecher Haya. He was a very wealthy man. He was a beer distributor. He brewed beer and sold beer. And of course, every siyum ends up with Baru Bar Papa, Doro Bar Papa, right? Rav Papa was a very wealthy man because of his business. Anan tavrinan lo b'bsar v'chana. I break the koyach, the negative koyach of the turnip with meat and wine. Asan lo nafesh l'chul chamra, but you don't have enough wine. B'may tavritul. How do you break it? Amalei b'tzivi. Tzivi, I think, are wood chips, so they cook it a lot. Kiha, like the case of Dvisad Rav Papa, that the wife of Rav Papa, Basar de Mavashlala, after she cooked it, Tavla betamnin, oifi parsyasa.
Like 80 large logs.
I mean, she cooked it, it was a long cooking process. Tarabana, dag koted maliach, salted small fish like sardines. Pamim shehu memis b'shiva, b'shivasar, v'eser m'shiva. If you eat it 7 days after salting, or 17 days after salting, or 27 days after salting, or 23 days after salting, it can kill you. That means it hasn't been fully cooked. It's only partially cooked. But if it's been cooked well, then all these things don't apply, that you're going to die if you eat it 7 days after salting.
Are we talking about the fish?
Fish. If you eat the fish. We're talking about salted fish. So it said it's not, if you eat it 7 days after salting, it can kill you. But the Gemara said, but that's only if the fish we're not talking about raw fish. We're talking about fish that should be cooked. So that's if you didn't cook it properly. If you cooked it properly, then all these warnings are for naught. And it's also, if you didn't cook it, it's only bad if you didn't drink beer afterwards. But if you drank a good beer afterwards, then it also protects you. It's not a problem.
But listen, the fish after 23 days,
No,
probably would kill you anyhow.
No, we're talking about they salt it.
Yeah, it keeps.
Yeah. The British Navy, salted everything.
Yes.
They took it for months.
And they brought
salt,
from the Americas the spices and the salt also.
the salt was preserved. All the meats, the salamis, all of that was created for the navies because those things lasted. The salt preserved it. Now again, there's a limit to that as well. But now, I don't know. Now, even if you salt fish, it's going to go bad after a certain period of time without
Sure.
refrigeration.
Guests are like fish.
Meat is
you know?
easier.
3 days.
After the guests, you throw them out,
But he's putting 7.
People eat dried salamis that have been out there.
Yes.
But salamis have been cooked already. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the salted ones, they cooked out. They hang them outside the refrigerator, and they cut away the mold or whatever on the top, and they eat what's below it.
Well, listen, in England,
Huh?
they don't put any food in the fridge.
Fruit?
The fridges are like food. They have larders, that are cold, per
Yes.
se. They have eggs and milk.
My mother said in she lived in a very large house in Frankfurt on Main. This was before the war, and everything was kept in the basement. The basements were extremely cold, and before winter, they'd have huge deliveries of onions, potatoes. It was all put, down in that basement, and it was kept the whole winter. Many things, she said, was kept down in the basement. They had a whole grocery
When I
store
bought
down.
a fridge in England, I bought a regular one like we know here. The neighbors came. There was a big party in my house. They said, "Why do you need?" So I told them that we buy kosher meat, so we buy, it's far away, so I bought, I don't know, 100 pounds of
Correct.
meat
You
and
probably had a freezer
20
too, a big
chicken
freezer.
and
Yeah.
And they said, who are you going to feed, the whole army? I said, no, for us, for 6 months, you know, they couldn't,
Yeah, they probably don't eat frozen meat.
no, they said, you don't have a larder? So I don't. And they put everything in the larder. Cold, you can freeze your nuts.
Then the Mishnah said, "Vashoyse mayim litzomo." So we said that if you drink water to cool your thirst, satisfy your thirst, then of course you make a shahakol. But if you drink water not for thirst, you don't have to make a bracha. The Gemara doesn't understand. What do you mean drink water? Drink water for what? Lafuke mai, Amar v'di bar Aaron, lafuke leman dechankose unsi. He's choking on a piece of meat. He's got to drink some water for that. So in that kind of drinking, you don't make a bracha. Rav Tafar Amar Bor Nefashis Rabbis v'Chasreinon. And then he said you make a Bor Nefashis after you drink water. Amarle Rav Rav Chanal Abai v'Amarle Rav Yosef Hilchos Amai. Amarle Puk Chazi Mai Amadover. Look at what the people do. The minig is that to make a bracha for shahakol before water, and you make a Bor Nefashis afterwards. And that's the minig, and that's the halacha. Hadalach Ketzad Mevorchen, Hadalach Ketzad Mevorchen, Hadalach Ketzad Mevorchen. That's one of the first famous prokim in Shas, right? Ketzad Mevorchen. This parak is, you're going to have Kol Shah in Psachim, right? And you have Ezer Neshach in Bava Metzia. There's a few classic. So Ketzad Mevorchen is very important. We finished. Now we start the parak Shvi. Shloisha she'achlu.
Shishi or Shvi?
Shvi. Ketzad Mevorchen is parak Shishi. Shloisha she'achlu is parak Shvi.
The Mishnah, huh?
Like,
Shloisha she'achlu kachas. These are the laws of Zimun. 3 people eat together. Chayav and lazami. It creates a chiyuv. They cannot now separate and bench individually. If the 3 of them ate together, they're chayav and zimun. Even if ochal demai. What's demai? If you buy food, produce, from an Amoritz.
You have to split, you have to take out.
Exactly, because the Amoritz were not trusted that they had given Trumas and Maestros, so you have to do it again. That's demai. It's a suffix whether Trumas and Maestros have been given. So you might think maybe that doesn't, if you eat on demai, it won't be mechayev zimun. No. Meiser rishon shenotol trumasoi. Now, Meiser rishon, you give to the Levi, and the Levi has to give Trumas Meiser to the Kohen. So as long as the Meiser Rishon has had Truma separated from it, then you can make Zimun on that. Meiser Sheni v'hegdish sheniftu. Now, for example, the farmer lives in Tel Aviv. He has a field, and he produced 100 bushels of wheat. So he has to give 1/50th to the Kohen. That's Baininus. The ayin Baininus. Ayin Tova is 1/40th. Ayin Ra is 1/60th. So let's say 1/50th. So that's 2. 2 out of 100. 2 bushels go to the Kohen. Then he has to give 1/10 to the Meiser Rishon, to the Levi. And that's every year. Truman Meiser is all 6 years of the Meiser cycle, of the Shemitah cycle. Now, in the first, second, and 4th and 5th year of the Shemitah cycle, the second Meiser, that means the second 10th, was Meiser Sheni, which you owned. The only thing is you had to bring it to Yerushalayim to eat it. So if you were in Tel Aviv, you could schlep it with you. Now, if you were a big, agricultural, giant, and you had train loads, it's not practical for you to, so you could be pointed for an extra, if it's worth $100, you give an extra $20, so you have to be pointed on $120 of silver.
where do we get that it has to be 20? I know it's not, you mentioned it.
No, we're
but
gonna
you
learn
did
it.
often.
No, we're gonna learn.
Really?
First of all, we're gonna learn it's a 5th, and the question is it milagav or is it like 80? We'll see. How do we know that it's right? It's a good question. The Gemara is going to tell us eventually that it's milivar, so it's 120. It's above, and not 80 and 20. It's you don't divide the 100 into 6 and then do that, but it's from above. So the kedusha is transferred to money. The money is taken to Yerushalayim, and you can buy whatever you want there, and you can eat in Yerushalayim. Okay. Now, in the 3rd and 6th year of the Shemitah cycle, the second Meiser, instead of being at Meiser Sheni, which you own, it's Meiser Ani, which you give away to the Aniyim. So, Meiser Sheni or Hegdesh, right? Let's say I designate an animal to be a Shlomim, right? And then it gets a mum. So I'm allowed to be poida it and shecht it for my own personal use. Right? A Shlomim that's a Tamim, I have to offer as a korban. Okay? So I don't eat that. I mean, I can eat it as the Bailim after the Kohanim do the avodah with it, but we're talking here about a Hegdish animal that got a mum, that now I can redeem. Same thing, if it's worth $100, I got to pay $120 for it. I transfer the Kedusha to the $120. The animal goes out l'chulin. I can eat it, I can shecht it. Now, I cannot work it. I cannot milk it.
Don't have a new actually.
You know, you can't, it's a bizoyon, so I can't work it, I can't shear it. So usually what I end up can do, I can eat it. So I can shecht it and eat it. So such a Meiser Sheni that was nifte, or Hegdish that was nifte, I can make zimunan. Vehashamish she'achal kazayis. Let's say there's two of you eating a meal, and you have a waiter who comes and serves you, and he eats a kazayis from what you're eating. He can join you to make zimun. Hakusi mezanelav. The kusim were the shomronim who had converted because there was an attack of lions, and they converted. Later on, in the times of the Gemara, they were treated as goyim, as complete goyim. At the time of the Mishnah and at the previous time, the kusim were treated in some ways like Jews, but eventually they were not. So at this time, when this Mishnah was written, they were still treated as Jews, so he could join you in a zimun. Now, in contradistinction to the Reish of the Mishnah, ochal tevel, let's say there's produce that was brought into the house, but none of the trumas meisos have been given. And if I eat tevel, even if I eat with 3 people, I can't make a zimun. Meiser rishon shelo nidl trumaso. Let's say I make a meal out of meiser rishon that was supposed to give into the Levi, but the trumas meiser has not been given from it yet. Or meiser sheni v'hegdish shelo niftu. Or you have the meiser sheni produce, or the shlomim that has a mum that there's been no redemption yet. So, and I make a meal on those things. Or a shamish she'achal pachas make a zayis. Or it's not a kusi, but it's a nochri, it's a goy. In all those cases, ein mezan in Allah. There's no zimun. Then it says noshim avodim ktanim, ein mezan in aleim. So again, women and minors under bar mitzvah or bas mitzvah, under bar mitzvah, and avodim. We're talking about an eved knani here, right? An eved knani is treated like a Jew because when you bring him into your house, you mal him, and he has to keep all mitzvahs like a woman. So an Eved Kanani, we're talking about an Eved Kanani. In those cases, ein mezan aleim. Now, how much do you have to eat to be machayev zimun? Ad kam mezanin ad kazayis. V'yomer ad kebeitza. This is machlokes tanoim. Kama yocheli moem v'schayvi moem b'zimun. This shamish that we're taking, he has to eat a certain amount. And how much does he have to eat even if they gave him the kois to be mezamin for them? He has to eat at least a kazayas. Now remember, what is the shear for benching? It's not kazayas, it's more than kazayas. It's kedei svia. But fine, so at least if 2 of them were kedei svia, so there was a chiyuv benching, and this shamus ate at least a kazayas, he could join in the zimun. So where do you get the 3? The person says, Gadlu is a plural. You, 2 people, make gadol with me, Hashem. So you got to speak to a minimum of 2. Gadlu Hashem iti means he's speaking to at least 2 people. 2 with him equals 3. Avavo are different pasuk. Ki shem Hashem ekra havu. Havu means give, but plural. If just you're talking about to a singular person, you'd say hav. But by saying havu, godel, glory to our God, you're speaking to 2 people. When you answer amen to a bracha, you should not yell out Amen louder than the volume than the person who made the bracha. Shenemar Gadol Hashem iti. That means join me in the bracha with me, but not louder than me. So, in the times of Chazal, when they learned the Torah, there was a person standing there who translated it into Aramaic. So, for example, that's why Shnayim Mikra ve'Echad Targum. We still do that. We read and we read Onkelos because of the minhag that they would also translate everything into the Aramaic was the vernacular. It was like English for the people who lived there. And the Meturgiman also should not raise his voice more than the Balkoiri.
Did they do it line by line?
They did it line by line. Shneamar, Moshe Daber, Valokim Yanenu Bekol. What do you mean? Sheitam Leber Bekol. What do I need to mean? He answered Bekol, Matam Leber Bekol. Bekol Shel Moshe means in the same same tone of voice, not long, not higher. So it's got to be even keel.
Actually, the source of difference it said that Moshe spoke in normal tone, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it much louder so they could hear it. That's what our scroll said in the Torah. Though he said it the same in the soft voice, but because they couldn't hear it, so they had HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it magnified it.
The person translating cannot raise his voice volume-wise more than Balkoir. If, for example, the Metargim doesn't have a powerful voice, the Balkoir has to lower the volume of his Kriya.
So it goes both ways. That you cannot go louder, but about
Yeah, let's say the Metargim cannot keep up with what so the Balkoire has to modulate his volume. We learn the following breath. Shnayim she'achlu ka'achas. There's going to be a long-running debate here. Can you make a zimun, which is two of you? So it's machlekes amiroim. Pligi Rav Yechad imrotz l'zamim izamnim. One of the Bandoimim, we're going to see it's Rav, I believe, holds that if they want to, they can do zimun. The Chadamar imrotz l'zamim ein mizamnim. No, talking about two people. No, just two.
Alone?
Two alone. Two alone. Machlokes regarding two alone. We don't paskin that way. We paskin that two alone cannot be mizamim. But there was an Amoira who held that two alone, if they wanted to, there was no chiyuv. Remember, three, there's a chiyuv. You can't separate. But Shnayim, if they wanted to, they could.
I guess at the time they thought that like there was an option of wanting, but now I guess the halacha is there's no option of wanting. Either you can or you cannot.
We're going to paskin that even if they want to, they're not allowed to.
So right. I mean they can't, they cannot.
They cannot do it.
Right.
They cannot do it.
It's a three.
Right, and therefore, you see what Rav Yechad Omer, im rotzu l'zamin em zamin. That means there's nothing to do with their rotzoin. Even if they want it, they're not allowed to do it. So the Gemara is going to bring lots of proofs before we reject either one or the other. It's not. It says shloisha she'achlu ka'achas. 3 people sat down to eat chayav l'zamin, and the Gemara is medayik shloisha in shnayim lo. Right. That implies 3 yes, 2 no. So it's a kasha on the one who says 2 yes. So that's not a kasha. Hasam choiva, hacha rishus. There, it's a choiv for them to do it. But I'm not saying it's a choiv, I'm saying it's a rishus. So it's not a kasha. Toshma. Shloisha shachol ka'achas chayav l'zami. And ein rishon l'chalik. Once the 3 got together, they can't separate into their individuality now and bench on their nose. Again, it's a different brisa. Again, the Gemara is medayik shloisha in shnayim lo. So the Gemara says again there as well. Shiny hasam de kavalahu b'choiva meikara. Since they established a choiv in the beginning, so they can't get out of it. But if they didn't establish a chog, maybe they could get out of it. I mean, there was only 2, and if they were rotzu, they could be mezami. Toshma. Hashamish shayim, hashamish ala shnayim. So now we're bringing in the case of a waiter. Two people are eating, and a waiter comes in. Hareze oicheli moim. By the way, the waiter was rashai, he was permitted to eat from them. Even though they didn't give him permission. Now, let's say there was 3 people already eating. Such a person, the shamas cannot get in there unless they give him rishus.
If there are 3 or more, right?
If there's 3 or more, he needs rishus. Now, why in the first case is it oichli moim? Because they're happy. The nichel, Rashi says, the nichel, the maisel de zimun. He brought them to the chiyuv of zimun. Now, vishnai mezamin, amai nichelu belavdi de nami yipoy mezamin. It's a fantastic proof. If 2 people could have done the zimun, why were they so excited that the shamas could join them? They could do it anyways, even without the shamas. Shiny hossam. The nichelu, the mikvah, the b'choiva. They were happy that now the shamas brought them into the category of chiyuv, which is a higher madrega. But not a raya that if the 2 people wanted to do it, they couldn't do it. So you see, more is hacking here. Toshma. Noshim mezamnes la'atzmon. So we know the din. Women by themselves can make a zimun. See, there's a halacha psuka there. The avodim mezamnin la'atzmon. Avodim also, if they gather to eat, they can make a zimun. Noshim avodim uktanim imrotz lezamin ein mezamin. Now, if the 3 of them got together, they can't.
Which is very interesting thinking about it, because Nashim, we know that Nashim and Avadim have the same halacha.
Correct, but
Maybe not Nashim Tanim.
So Penny, very good, but we're going to see me'ikar adin, they would be able to do it. We keep them apart because of pritzus. So it's a gzeira. But in a chanami, from a halacha point of view, they'd be able to do it. One has another proof here. So normally, the amount of women, at least regarding deis, they can't serve as aidim, but as individuals, they're at least similar to 2 men. Uktani nashim ezanos la'atzmon, ba'odim ezanos la'atzmon. So they're at least like 2 men, and yet we say that they can make zimun. So the Gemara wants to prove from there that 2 can make zimun. Versus no, shani hasam de ikedeos. It's telling us that there are multiple individuals who have different thoughts and concepts, but not necessarily regarding this issue. They're going to ask Penny's question, am I low? The ha'ikadeus, they're individual. Shani hasam mishum pritzus. Erachanami. Mikra din, they'd be able to do zimun, but we keep them apart because of pritzus. Now, we had mentioned Rav and Rav Yochanan when we started this debate. We didn't say who said what. We didn't know who what. The Gemara now is going to try to prove to Stayim, the Rav, the Omar, Imrot Zamin, Ein Mezamin. That it's Rav who's the one that says that the 2 people are not allowed to do it, even if they want it. Omar Abdim Bar Yosef Omar Rav, Shloisha Sha'achlu Ka'achas. There are 3 people eating. V'yotza Echad Mem L'Shuk. And one went to the market, so they can't bench without him. Korin Lo Mezamin Lo. Time at the Korin Lo. Halo Korin Lo Lo. So the Gemara wants to prove from here that you need at least 2. No, you need 3. 2 is not enough. No, Shani Osam Digvul B'Choiva Mikara. Once they established 3, then he left. You got to bring him back. But that doesn't mean that if the 2 of them, if there weren't 3 to begin with, that they couldn't be able to do it. So the Gemara sort of reverses its tack and says, "Ela tistayim." I'm going to prove must be the Rabbi Yochanan who domarim ratzul zamin emezam. That it's not Rav, it's Rabbi Yochanan who says that if that 2 people cannot do it even if they want it. And show me a proof. The Amar Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Yochanan, shnayim she'achlu ka'achas. 2 people ate together. Echad mehen yoytzer b'brichos chaveru. So one could listen, right, through Shomea Ka'oina. One person will make the bracha and he will listen, and that suffices for him. The Havina, but we analyze this. My Kamash Malon. I mean, what kind of new halachas does this teach me? Tanina. It's a fair stick of brisa. Shama v'loy ona yatsa. If a person this is Shomea Ka'oina, if somebody heard, even if he doesn't say anything, that means Amen is not required. So for example, when someone says boy piragef, somebody makes a bracha for you, to be yoitze you. Fine, we say amen. Amen is as if you said it even more. But without amen, it also, as long as you heard it, you're yoitze. You don't have to make a bracha yourself. So why are you bringing me this other price? If you tell me that's what it's teaching me, I already have it somewhere else. Amrav Zera, Loimer, She'en Bircha says Zimun B'nei. What it means is that the two people can have a ziyun. Tistayim. Good proof. So we now know that it's Rav Yochanan who holds that two people cannot make zimun. Rav holds two people could make zimun. Amalei Rav Ravuna Ravuna. But we have Chachamim came from Eretz Yisrael, Amri, and what did they say? Imrotz l'zamin mizamnin. Now, gentlemen, who lived where? Rav Yochanan lived his whole life in Eretz Yisrael. Rav Yochanan was one of the architects of Talmud Yerushalmi. That's how you remember that. Now, Rav lived in Bavel. Rav was the Amir in Bavel. So if from Eretz Yisrael they came to say that if they wanted to, they could make zimun, my love the Shmuel and Rav Yochanan must be that they heard it from Rav Yochanan because he's the one who lives in Eretz Yisrael. So how can you tell me it's Rav Yochanan who said that if the two of them were Rotzu, they can't do it? L'chora, the testimony came from Eretz Yisrael that they could do it. Lo, the Shmuel and Rav mekame the Nachas LeBavel. Rav lived in Eretz Yisrael first, and then he went up to Bavel later on, or he went down to Bavel, right? Because from Eretz Yisrael is always higher than the other nations. Nachas, he went down to Bavel later on, and they had so. Originally heard it from Rav, that imrotz l'zamin mizamin. Okay, gufa. Gufa means we're going to deal with something in detail, that which we mentioned in passing. Am Rav Dimi bar Yosef am a Rav, shloisha shachlu ka'achas. Right, we mentioned this halacha. 3 people sat down to eat. One went out to the market real quick to get something. They can't bench. Korin lo mizamin. They got to call him back and make zimun. Am Rabbi Vuda kori lo oni. It means he doesn't have to even be in the room with them. As long as he can hear them and he can answer, that's also enough. Shesamachu etzlam, v'oine baruchu. That's enough. He doesn't have to mamish be in the room. Omer Mar Zutra, v'lo yamanel b'shloisha, avol ba'asara ad denaisi. So this, remember, zimun is with 3, but now with 10, you say Hashem Elokeinu. There, it's not enough that just to answer, if he hears and he answers. There, Mamish has to come back.
And very interesting, that's why we even take a minyan, we say, that one, when we let the Bidam like in an office, like, we always tell people to make sure they're actually in the office itself and not just answering in the hallway.
Fine. We're going to see that then comes up somewhere else, but you're making a tzushtel to the need of Asara by Hashem Elokeinu, because it's a davar shebekdusha, so it fits the same thing. Kedusha, the 10, anything, so Adenaisi. So they have to physically be present. Maskiv Ravashi asks a kasha. Adarabba. Ibchot mistavra. Tisha. What does the Bach say? Nirin kasara. I'm not sure what emendation he made. It's exactly the same as it says in the Gemara.
It's 9 people.
So 9 people, you look at 9 people, they look like 10 people. It's very hard to distinguish 9 from 10. So I would think that it's okay for him to call in, even though he's not physically there. Shnayim ain't there in Kishloisha. But you see, 2 people are 2 people. Everyone knows it's not. So I would think that you can't do anything unless he physically returns. However, Hilchos a Kamar Zutra. Halacha is like Mar Zutra, that by 3 you could be koire ve'oine, but by Asara he has to physically be there. My time, huh? Given the boilat kuri shem shamayim, since you're mentioning the name of Hashem Elokeinu, Batzir less me Asar lavor achar. It's not covered. It's not covered to be less than 10. I just want to
But you
see.
still mention
Mem
still
Hey.
mention Hashem
So what do they do? They count? How many are we?
No, but you don't say Elokeinu.
I know, but it's still a Hashem your name, if you say Hashem.
Yeah, but the Elokeinu is the addition
to
to,
count.
in terms of having 10.
And if I go here, like 1, 2, 2.5, 3.
Dalet. Mem Hey, the base, Dalit. Shulchan Aruch. Shloisha she'achlu v'yotzei echad b'mashuk. Korno soy madim lo shrotzim l'zayim k'dei she'chav v'yitztarif v'marm v'yanim em berchas zimun. V'yotzia midei choyvason. Afal pi she'eino ba v'yoshim, even though he's not physically there. Hanim el v'gimel, avul basara, kivet she'trichim lahazkas Hashem, einan mitztarfin ad sheyava v'yeshev imoim. Right? So it's exactly like the Gemara says. Like we concluded the halacha. Omra by Naktinon, we have in our hands a halacha that shnaim she'achlu ka'achas mitzvah l'chalek. Two people wait together, they must bench separately. They cannot join, they have to bench separately. It's a mitzvah to do so. Tanya Malchi, shnaim she'achlu ka'achas mitzvah l'chalek. B'medvar k'sheshneim soifrim. The two of them know how to read. Aval echad soifrim, echad bur. Soifrim avarach bur yotzeh. The bur has to sit there and listen and be yotzeh through Shemei Kohen. Amar Rava, Hamilsa Amrite Anoah. This word I said, V'itmar Mishmeid Rav Zera, in the name of Rav Zera, Kavasi, like me, Shloisha She'achlu Ka'achas, so Echad Mafsik Lishnayim. This happens many times at wedding. 3 people are sitting at a table, and 2 people want to leave early. So they want to bench. They can ask the one person to stop eating for a minute and to answer, and they bench, and he joins them in the zimun. They're allowed to, so they can make him be mafsik. But the ein shnayim mafsikin lechad. But if one guy wants to bench, he can't make 2 people stop eating to
So
answer
the
to him.
majority have to be
It's
the
the
one.
majority. It's 2 can force 1. More v'lo, is that correct? Rav Papa, Avsik Leila Abamar Bray. Iyu v'chad. Rav Papa asked Abamar Bray and another person to stop and let he could do the zimun. Shani Rav Papa did lifnei mishur sadin huda. He was not maker adin. He was lifnei mishur sadin. He gave honor to the other person. He let the other person. He and another Rav Papa and another person stopped, even though they were not finished. The other guy wanted to bench. So why? Because he was showing them. He was showing that person extra covet. It was not maker adin. Maker adin didn't have to.
The person was his son.
Okay, Rashi doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Rashi does not say that.
That's what the article says. Rashi says it.
Doesn't say it. It says v'tim mishur zilach shavei, just to make him.
Rav Papa interrupted his meal in order to honor his son.
Rashi.
Ol aber mar bray. Aber ifsik leila abba mar bray iu v'chad. Okay, so he honored his son.
So then it's not. So then it's not. So in other words, it's not.
No, it's
right.
not. He went lifnei mishur sadin.
Oh yeah, look, before it says, do not interrupt the meal for the sake of joining in Simon. Why? Rav Papa interrupted the meal for the sake of his son Abba Mar.
Oh, aber mar bray, his son.
Yeah.
So the Shulchan Aruch says shloisha shachlu ke'echad. Echad mafsik al korcho lishnayim. He's forced to. You can force him to stop eating. Va'oni man berchazimun. Va'filu rotzah lahafsik. Mezan alav ben oina ben ena oina. Kol shu oimei as long as he's there. Aval shnayim en chayovim lahafsik lechad. 2 don't have to stop. V'kach en chiyuv zim chal ad she'yisrotzah lahafsik levarach. So there's no chiyuv zim until they're ready to bench. From the rotzah lahafsik v'zimin hu aleihem. lost a klum. Right? If he did it himself without them, it didn't do anything. Let's say they can't leave until they finish. He doesn't bring that you have the right to do it. But the Gemara says, "Lifnei Mishur Sadin." The Gemara asked it as a
Because he went
kasha.
beyond the letter.
Right,
of the law.
as there's a kasha, it's not really a kasha because he's allowed to go Lifnei Mishur
Don't we
Sadin.
say though, you have to wait for just the first bracha to finish before you can see it.
It doesn't say that.
Right, so we usually we don't start eating, the other two people don't start eating right away after, he says after.
No, the one person. Because the two people are benching.
No, one
Two people are
person's
finished.
benching.
No. You're not allowed, if two people want to bench,
I know.
they can force the one person to
Right.
stop eating.
But for
The
this
one
case-
person can't stop the
But
two.
if he does, if the
What do you mean
one
if he
person
does?
wants to bench and the other two are still eating,
They can't,
you can't force them, but if they wanna do it, they can. Many times, we're sitting at a table and I have to go away, can I say?
And it happens a lot to Shal
You wanna
Shidduch.
answer, right, you wanna answer. Don't force the people to do it, but out of,
I know, but if they want to, they could say, we're eating.
Right, but most people, you wouldn't say no. If somebody asked you, they gotta go, and they say, can you wait, you'd say answer. So you stop until.
No, but his
it's
point
okay.
is they can say no.
You have the option,
They
you
can
tell them,
say no,
you
but I
know.
mean, what do we do? That happens
I know,
all the
but
time.
I don't know where you're getting the extra knach that you threw in there. The Shulchan Aruch doesn't say
I know, but
word
what
one.
we do, of course you can't force them. You can't force anybody.
I don't know, we have to say as a call. You could say Zimon Bo, and then they're back to the eating.
But I thought that.
Based on what?
I both heard it, I don't know where it's from, but I will.
Okay, but it's not here.
No, no,
No, I didn't say that. I just say we,
maybe the Gemara, a different Gemara talks about it.
no, I don't know, don't we usually wait till the end of the call before we review it?
It doesn't say
I don't know
it.
where.
Doesn't say
Okay,
it.
no, I hear you.
I've heard that too.
I just
That
thought-
doesn't say it. Doesn't say it. Doesn't say it. Now, maybe
Okay, no,
the
now.
Achronim say
Okay,
something.
Sophia.
Yehuda bam Remar, Umar Ravashi, Vravacha Bedifti. So the three of them, Karchi Rifta Bahadiyada. They broke bread between them. Lavabu Chadav Muflig Mechavi. Now none of them were older than they were all the same age. Levruchla. So it's mistama that there was always you always looked for somebody to join you who was a gadol, older, someone that you could give cover to, but they were all the same. Yosef come aboard. They asked the fine question: Hadis nan shlosh shachlu ka'achas chayv l'zamein. That which we say that three people, if they get together, there's a chiyuv to zimun. Hadi mileiche de ika adam gadol. Maybe that's only somebody. If within the three of them, there's an adam gadol that's worthy to give them a zimun. Aval heicha de chiyadarininu. Maybe chiluk brachas adif. Maybe the three of them should divide into three different entities and bench by themselves.
But that's not how we do it.
Hang on.
no?
No, you never divide it.
And Baruch Yinish Lenafshe. That was the Havamina. Also, Kamei Meremar. So they asked us to Meremar Armalu, Yidei Bracha Yitzasa, but Yidei Zimun Lo Yitzasa. No. You benched, but there's a Chiyuv Zimun that's been created once you sat together. So you broke that up, and therefore it's not the right thing to do. Once you have three, you can't separate. Now we'll see. If you have six, you can separate into two groups of three. Right? If you have 5 or 4, you can't. But
So basically, there's no difference between what? Between 3 and 10, there's no difference.
correct. If you had 9, you could separate into 3 groups of 3. Exactly. The Shulchan Aruch brings that, beferish. Now, v'chitemer niyadar v'nezamein. So maybe, okay, because what they had benched already. Remember, they had benched already individually. Now, Meremar told them, oh, you know what? You were not bracha. You were yotze, but zimun. So they said, okay, so let's get together and do zimun again. No, ein zimun l'mafreya. Once you benched, there's no zimun again. You can't go back and do zimun once you benched. That's a halacha psuka here in the Shulchan Aruch. Bo motzon kashen mevorchim. Ma oimer achreim. Person sort of wanders into the scene, and they started benching. What does he say? Rav Zvid Omar, Baruch Hu Mavoirach. When he says like the name of Hashem. Rav Papa Omar no oina, or when he says when he talks about the bracha. When he says Kidash Kechinu to Omar Hamazami Nevarech, when he hears the right. When he says when the person says the word nevarech, then they answer Baruch Hu Mevorach. But Rav Papa says no, Amen. Lo pligi, no machlekes. Har dashkechin dekomer nevarech. So then he says Baruch Hu Mevorach. Ha dashkechin dekomer amru. V'ha dashkechin dekomer Baruch. He says if he says Baruch, he would answer Baruch Hu Mevorach. If he says nevarech, then he says Amen, because it's like the conclusion. The Amri nevarech, oimer Baruch Hu Mevorach. When he says nevarech, he says Baruch Hu Mevorach. Ashkenaz call me Baruch, oine Amen. Now we're going to deal with a subject matter. When you make a bracha, can you answer Amen after your own bracha? So the Gemara says, Tani chada ha'oine Amen achar berchosov hareze meshubach. It's praiseworthy. But Tani hareze meguna. It's ugly. Loy kasha ha b'bonei Yerushalayim ha b'shar brachos. What do we say in benching? Bonei Yerushalayim Amen. So this is the only bracha that we answer Amen by ourselves. All over the brachos we don't answer Amen. What's pshat?
So why do we do that?
By anile bekolo. Listen to this. He would say it out loud. Ki hechid l'shamu po'aylim. See, workers, when they worked for you, so they're very strict in terms of like workers' comp. Not workers' comp. All the workers' laws. You did not want to waste the time of the balaboyas. So, for example, they were allowed to bench, they were allowed to eat, and they were allowed to bench. But if you remember, hatovu meitiv was not one of the brachos midaraisa. Yavne, in Yavne, they were misakin the hatovu meitiv bracha. So technically, after Bonei Yerushalayim Amen, go back to work. You don't have a right to sit around for the next paragraph. So he would say Amen out loud as the signal to the poyalim to go back to work. Right? V'likbud hatovu meitiv lav daraisa. Ravashi anele belechisha. He would say quietly, Kehechel nezalzel about the right? Lahu amin belechisha kehechel l'shamo v'yadu shesham gomer abrachos v'zalzel about the that it's the opposite. People would be mizal not say it. So he would say it quietly.